Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Edna White, and you are on Keeping It Real on Purpose. And I thank you today for joining me. Thank you for taking some time out to share, to subscribe, and to be present. Today's topic. So, today's topic is liars, pants on fire. I'm sorry that I have not posted Wednesday, but Wednesday was a really tough day for me. In the death of my aunt and uncle in the same month, about a week or two apart, I had to, put some truths together for myself and kind of deal with that on a personal level. But as it always says, life does go on. So I want to talk about an issue about liars. You see, all my life was penetrated with lies and manipulation and just things that weren't even necessary. So when I was younger and I was growing up about maybe 13 or 14. I promised myself that I would not lie. I said I'd try my best not to lie, even if it hurts me. So, when you say things like that, you forget about it. And throughout life, things had started unraveling that I had no idea about or no conscious awareness that it existed or anything was wrong. And through that, I learned that not lying and telling the truth was even more important. Even if it changed the dynamic of who you're speaking to, and they can accept it or they have to process it. Whichever one of those three, it's important to tell the truth, but in a loving way, not in a dagger, put your eye out truth, unless it's necessary. But even that type of truth is not well received. The truth in a loving way is always the best prescription. So I've been dealing with this lying, and I've been kind of like putting it off. Talked about it, putting it off, and finally it culminated because it had to do with a family issue, and it hurt family or family time. But anyway, I want to get into the subject of everybody lies. Doesn't matter who you are. It is impossible to come across a human who doesn't lie. In fact, there are many different kinds of liars. Some are pretty little liars, while others are manipulative, compulsive liars. Lies can be trivial or hurtful and serious. Lying can deeply injure relationships, which I personally found out And I hate to say that this was part of my growing up, but it does injure relationships. And finding out if someone has lied to you is as easy as checking on little things they stated. But there are other ways too. It's a person's sentence structure, body language, and tone of voice that can tell you they are lying. But not always. Some liars are so good, you even question yourself. So, I know you're probably wondering, looking at the issue of why do most people lie? Why? I know some do it for self-preservation, while some are just habitual liars. But whatever the reason may be, there are very few, recognized psychological reasons people lie. Now, isn't that funny? Psychological. It's mostly ego that makes us lie. Mostly ego. So let's break it down. Why? What is it? What is lying? What is lying totally? It may be an exaggeration to the state that lying is the biggest part of deception. However, sometimes people use certain ways of telling the truth that they call embellish that may not be completely truthful. When people lie, there's always a level of self-protection that is involved. These moments can often educate you about a person's true character. A person who chooses to lie is really someone who is dangerous. But if the person gets caught, it can be even more embarrassing and humiliating because the truth is out. So the person may lie one time to cover up, to say an untruth, but could have corrected it that very second. But in order to cover up the next lie, the last lie, they have to say another lie. And then it becomes this big tumultuous mess. Instead of saying, you know what, I misspoke the other day, and I shouldn't have. I apologize, and I will do my best not to do that again. A simple statement like that would probably rectify both the person, the relationship could be mended with a conversation like that. But no. But if they can get away with it, they do. So the definition of a lie is an intentional false statement. Listen to the words. Intentional false statement. Now there's a lot of things involved in that, right? Wouldn't you say? Obviously. There's a difference between falsely bragging about playing the piano and claiming to be a messenger of God. This is because the person is claiming to be godly and will cause unnecessary distress to more people when compared to the other case. But a lie is the intentional false statement that one decides to make. The statement that liars are all the same is not true. There are different kinds of liars. For some people, compulsive lying could be a symptom of a personality disorder. Those who falsely brag about themselves may not be embellishers, but they may be dealing with narcissistic personality disorder or low self-esteem, which is most of the case. And then those are those pathetic liars who lie to people to extract a reactive response. I want to talk about the liars in general. There are the compulsive liars. Compulsive liars lie because of several reasons. However, you can always find out if they're lying. Their stories don't usually add up. They are also very obvious and display classic lying behaviors, such as avoiding eye contact, breaking out into a sweat, and tripping over their words and rambling, Yeah, we all come across those type of people. And then there's people that ramble because they just ramble. But compulsive liars are ramblers. Now, there are two kinds of compulsive liars: narcissistic liars and habitual liars. Narcissistic liars usually have a narcissistic personality disorder. These people usually make up grand stories centered around themselves. They are also prone to embellishment. Narcissistic liars always make themselves out to be conquering heroes, no matter what the situation is. Most of the stories they narrate seem to be a bit far-fetched or downright unbelievable. Okay? Now, on the other hand, habitual liars constantly lie, practically all the time. Even in your presence, if there was an orange on the table, they'll say it was blue in your presence. So for them, it's become a regular habit, and they see no harm in saying and doing so. So that's what habitual liars are. Pathological liars, okay, lie in response to anything outwardly stimulating them. These people are excellent liars because they lie constantly and make up stories so unnecessarily, and often it becomes extremely difficult to distinguish the truth from false statements. So it's not like the compulsive liar. The pathological liars are near impossible to catch in the act. Pathological lying is known as a pseudological fantastica. I can't say that, but pseudologia fantastica. It almost sounds like fantasy, like they're writing a story of fantasy. Pathological liars know how to play the eye contact game. When lying, instead of looking away, they fix their gaze upon you. These type of liars use their pathological lying trait as a defense mechanism. I tend to think that they lie to avoid something traumatic that happened in their lives, such as abuse. And I've dealt with a lot of that in my coaching and in my own life, coaching my clients. I deal with pathological liars because they want to protect themselves. I know there's no excuse for lying, but it sure does make it easier to understand why some people choose to lie. It's important also to know that if you see or you hear a pathological liar is spinning a tale, that it's important to call them out on it. Make sure You do this in a non-aggressive way so that the person doesn't feel embarrassed or threatened. I know that I had to do that. And sometimes it's received, sometimes it's just, But in order to have your own integrity, you have to face those things and not let those things continue happening. Sociopathic liars. These types of liars can be difficult to deal with. Sociopathic liars lack empathy. So they don't care. They don't care how it impacts you, negatively or positively. They don't care. And they don't even care if it actively harms you. That's the bad thing about sociopathic liars. This type of liar can be a narcissistic and super charming, but it's not always the truth. Sociopaths are master manipulators. They can tell you a fictional story to get you to do what they want, whenever they want it. You're nothing but putty in their hands because they are not capable of feeling sorry for you at all. So being the target of a sociopath will feel horrible because it will conflict with morals and your sense of right and wrong. A sociopath will continue to manipulate you and get you to see things his or her way until you get them what they want. Sociopath only wants for them. They do not have empathy, but they are excellent actors. So if you tell a sociopath liar that you're not comfortable with something, they will likely not care, but will surely act as though they do. They're extremely dangerous and can wreck your peace and your mental balance as you spend more and more time with them. White liars. We often assume that white lies are not really lies. People always tell little white lies here and there, often feel they are harmless or even beneficial. White liars often mix the truth with the lies. They do it when people catch them at it. They tend to believe that they don't mean to deceive and will probably confuse themselves. However, sometimes a person may tell white lies when trying to protect someone from the truth if it's too harmful or damaging. Then you have those careless liars. Careless liars are one of a kind. They lie all the time and don't much care about morals or ethics. Most careless liars are aware of their dishonesty as they don't put in much thought behind the lies and are genuinely very sloppy. If you know a careless liar, it may be a good idea to confront them about it. And most likely they're aware of what exactly they're doing. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that they'll change themselves or even admit to it. Be prepared to walk away from people like this, because it'll cause you stress and heartache. Occasional liars. Most people tell an occasional lie, although it's not something to be applauded or accepted. One is relatively better things about occasional liars is that this is not a regular thing. The sweet thing about occasional liars, they usually feel so guilty about what they've said or done that they admit their lies and ask for forgiveness. Most of the times, if you call out an occasional liar on their lies, they will be genuinely sorry and want to work on it and change it. So, how to deal with these liars? There are many different ways, to dealing with liars. The best thing you can do is not react aggressively or with anger. Although this is easier said than done, it's incredibly difficult. The liar is expecting an explosive reaction from you, and you will use this And they will use this, as a diversion and turn the entire situation against you, which I'm experiencing right now. Be aware of their version of events is likely false. The best way of dealing with liars is firmly but politely confront them. Tell them that you're aware of the truth and you won't stand being lied to. And then get out of the situation. If you find someone that told you a white lie, whatever color it should be, and the lie doesn't really harm anyone, it's probably best to let it go. But you may want to hint that you're aware of the truth. See, all of these have a complexity of making the person aware that you know the truth and that your trust and intimacy is definitely paramount, and it needs to be dealt with to keep that in place. Lying is a very complex issue, especially if family member is involved. The best way to protect yourself is by determining what kind of liar you're dealing with. No matter how much the other person tries to sway you, the best thing to do is to keep your morals intact and remain confident in the truth. Stick to the facts and don't give in. This is the best way to deal with liars, whether big or small, manipulative or harmless. Thank you today for listening in. Please like, share, subscribe so that you can hear the next topic at hand. If you disagree with me, please give me a call, let me know, or email me, or just leave a message on this podcast itself. This is Edna J. White signing off on Keeping It Real on Purpose. Talk to you next time.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.